Right, thanks for tuning in. Here we are, Monday 13th of June 2022, and a couple of weeks ago I was up in Scotland for half term with the kids and the family, and having a great time. So I got my Mini 3 Pro drone that I've been having a bit of a play around with, and I've also got some friends who've got a speedboat. So the you can see what's coming, can't you? So I thought, I know, let's have a trip out in the boat and we'll take the Mini 3 Pro drone with us and we'll see if we can get a bit of tracking on the sea. So it wasn't as straightforward as you might think, so stick around and you'll find out what happened. I won't spoil it now, but you might see by the facial expressions, a bit of a giveaway. So if you aren't a subscriber, you may have missed this video up here from last summer when I was stood on the beach following some of my children on the back of someone else's speedboat, and I did it from the beach. Got some great footage, some nice angles, some zooming around and this, that and the other, and it was great fun. Dead easy, dead straightforward, nice and steady. But yeah, Mini 3 Pro, here we go. It's a different kettle of fish. So bear with me and we'll see how we got on with it. So a bit of background to the trip. It was quite a windy day. I'd been out checking it with the trusty drone, the UAV forecast app, and these were the conditions on the day. And as you can see, it wasn't perfect, but still quite doable. Thought if you keep it low, then it won't be too windy. But as we all know, just as you're flying higher, the wind gets stronger. When you're out on sea, there's no obstructions to slow the wind down, like trees, buildings, hills and stuff like that. So pretty much the wind at sea is always stronger than it is on the ground. So we set off, we sailed out to the local islands, 3 of them, went round them, saw a couple of seals, thousands of seabirds, probably nesting and what have you. Just taking in the rays away from all the people that are trying to take photos of them and stuff. And yeah, so a combination of things, yeah. Nesting birds and windy conditions. Didn't want to fly the drone out there, so I just took it all in, sat on my little perch on the boat and enjoyed the scenery. But when we came back towards the shore and we went up the little estuary at the side, I thought, you know what, it's a bit more sheltered here in this little valley. We'll whip the drone out and see how we get on with it. So here we go. I'll run the tape and I'll give you a bit of a commentary as we're going along. So as you can see, the drone's switched on. I've got the controller set up and I think I'm just putting up the screen record buttons now. There it goes. So battery's on 94%, auto takeoff. Got 24 satellites locked in and home pointer's updated. This will be relevant later on. So we're just taking off, a bit of a look round, see what's what. So you can just see the islands there on the far right of the screen. That's where we were going round. And there's us in the boat. So the boat's static at the moment. I'm just getting my bearings and trying to set up the tracking. Now obviously, first time out in a boat with a drone. So first time out in a boat with a drone that will also do tracking. So I've not used tracking before, not on a vehicle. Had a quick go on me in the park, but again, totally different setup, very dynamic. So the boat's static. I've finally got myself a square or a rectangle pencil drawn around the boat, and you'll see there a little icon. It's actually detected that it is a boat, which is pretty impressive. So I've got it in spotlight mode. So spotlight mode, the drone is static and it basically just moves around its axis and tilts the gimbal up and down to follow the subject. So I'm raising up here to 20 meters or so. So you see that I'm up at 19 meters altitude, which is about 75 feet, and we're 12 meters away from not the boat but from the home point. So you'll see as the boat's moving off now, we are still 9 meters away from where we lifted off, and the boat's getting further away. So the distance isn't really increasing. because obviously the drone's measuring from the home point. Okay, so I'll try and get some active track going on now. We're in trace mode, which is where it should follow behind you. I've a little bit of trouble setting this up, so I've got to track round. It seems all I need to do now is press go, but for whatever reason, I think my head was full at this point. So yeah, I was like, how do I do this? How do I do this? I've read the instructions, but again, until you try these things, it's often difficult to put it into practice. So the captain's bringing the boat a bit closer. I've put the box round. All I need to do is press go. Still not done it. So we're still in spotlight mode. So what am I trying to do now? Trying to get it to fly around the boat. So we're too far away. So it's struggling to locate us again. I mean, it's still got the icon there. I was wondering whether to do an orbit. So we're at 3 minutes 24 here. So now we've pressed go and we are active tracking. We've done it. So we're in trace mode. So the boat should go past and then the drone should start following behind. So we're still at 19 meters, but we're 40 meters away from the home point, which is a static point in the sea. So the drone's positioned itself behind the boat now and it's following. So you can tell the drone's moving because the distance to the home point is changing. So the captain's taking it nice and slow for us to start with. Just again, I mean, I told him this was the first time I tried it. And so let's reduce the height a bit and get a bit more artistic. So we're down at 6 meters now. 75 meters away from the home point. And with this footage I could crop in to make it, get it on the rule of thirds, but I've not at this point. This is the first trip, not worried about cinematic footage, not worried about anything. All I'm worried about is tracking the boat and keeping the drone dry. So it's following us around nicely now. It's following us around nicely. Reasonable speed on the boat. Just kind of chugging along. And got a jet skier in front of us. So yeah, it's as we've moved the boat round, the drone stopped and it's panned round and now it's following us again. So you see the distance is changing again in relation to the home point. And that's quite a nice shot there, nice and steady. Following us at a constant speed, keeping the distance about the same. 6 meters above the water. We've got a nice mix of background and foreground and the subject in the middle. So I've turned active track off now and I'm just going to get us repositioned somewhere different. So we're getting a bit closer. Still staying at 5 meters. Good thing with the sea is it's nice and flat, obviously. So you don't have to worry about height so much or bumping into hills and things. Got to watch out for other boats though, obviously. So I'm bringing it around the front here. We've still got that lovely outline on it. What am I doing here? Oh no, I'm messing about with something. So there's my icon, active track, parallel, and go. So altitude too low, so I'm a bit too close here and a bit too low for it to follow in parallel. So there we go, over the top. The icon, tracking's lost me now. Nice and shallow as well. I think the water's only about 2 or 3 meters deep here at this time of day. Battery's at 72% still. Here comes the boat again. So if we can draw a rectangle around it again. The thing to remember is the boat's always moving, even when the engine's off. It's just drifting. It's either drifting. We're on an estuary here, so it's actually pushing us out to sea. The wind's blowing us back into sea, and then obviously you've got the power on the engine. So it's still saying we're a bit too low and a bit too close. So we've gone up to 13 meters again. Active track. Still learning my way around the buttons, as you can see. So we're in parallel mode now. Got the icon round, got the focus on, and now pressed go. So it should stay alongside the boat now. So I'll get the captain to rev her up. There we go. So yeah, look at that. So you can see the drone's moving sideways, keeping a constant speed and distance with the boat. Maybe getting a little bit ahead, but I think that's because the boat's turning slightly. And we're traveling at 2.9, 2.9 meters a second sideways. And it's moving the boat around again. So really the drone would have to do a massive arc to catch up with that. So we've turned away and it's gone into trace mode now, because obviously we're a bit, I'm not sure if it did that automatically. But 140 meters from the home point, and we've come round the bay a bit. So we've got it in sport mode to try and catch us up, and I think I do a bit of manual. So we've lost the subject, a bit of manual flying now. So a quick zoom over the boat, that'd be a nice cinematic shot. 300 meters away now. Obviously I can still see the drone because we're in VLOS, 300 meters away from the home point, which is right up in that channel behind the wake. Bit of zoom. So I think now I'm just going to see if I can do a bit of manual tracking. Right, Captain, let her rip. So we're doing 5 meters a second backwards, 7.5 meters a second backwards now. Lovely and composed. 10 meters, 12 meters. So we're in sport mode, going backwards, 14 meters a second, and then it comes out of shot. So I'll turn it round. Battery's at 60%. So I think I'll say, alright. I'm just doing a bit of a turn. We've got 17 minutes flying time left. Still in sport mode. $10 meters above the ground, or above the water. Still in sport mode, and see what we do now. So the downward sensor still seems to be working, even though the collision sensors are off. So we've gone back to normal mode now, and I'm thinking to myself, right, never landed a boat before, so I'm thinking to myself, right, never landed on a boat before, so whilst I've got 15 minutes flying time left, perhaps I should think about landing. Now this is where the fun starts. So a nice little circle around the boat. And then so have a look around, see what's behind us. We're not going to crash into anything. So at this point now, 54%, I'm saying to the captain, right, turn the engines off please, let's come to a halt and see if I can land this thing. Now it's still pretty windy out there, even though we're in this sheltered estuary part in the bay. Still a bit blowy, and obviously the boat's still travelling a touch. So at this point I realised that landing on a small boat is not going to be easy, because everything's moving. The only thing that's not moving is, when I take my hands off the controls, the only thing not moving is the drone. That's the only static thing here. So yeah, so I'm here and I'm trying to get it so that it's literally static over the boat, but I just cannot do it. And the boat's only small, so it's not like a big, you know, cruise ship where I can land on a massive heliport, or, you know, there's no big flat spaces here. It's 3 people in the boat, sorry. And yeah, so we're down to 49% now, so still got 16 minutes of flying time. But I think I'm starting to get a bit nervous, because I'm like, I can't just throw my hand up and grab it, because obviously I don't want a handful of propellers. I don't want my hands taken off. And I'm thinking, right, just bring the boat round and let's see if we can grab it here. But no. So yeah, I'm getting a bit anxious at this point, because I'm thinking, well, I can't land it on the boat, I can't grab it. The captain's offered to grab it, and I'm like, absolutely not. I don't want you cutting your hands off. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Because I'm out in the middle of the sea here. So at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, I can always fly it back to the beach and land it there somewhere. But then you've got the risk of someone picking it up and grabbing it, or, you know, getting sand in the motors, something like that. But I thought, worst case scenario, I've got 13 minutes left, can always fly back to the beach. And there's the captain trying to offer his help. So I'm like, no, it's fine, I'll do it. You keep your hands on the wheel. So yeah, and again, drone's rock solid, and it's just the boat that's moving. So in the end, I managed to grab it, and then I've got to tilt it over on its side to stop the motors, and back to safety. So, key things to remember: boats are always moving. They're moving up and down, and they're moving side to side. They're drifting on a current, and they're also being blown by a wind. So if you're going to land on a boat, either get yourself a pair of like chainmail gloves, so the props aren't going to take your fingers off, or get yourself a nice big boat where you've got plenty of open space to land on it. Don't forget to update your home point. So I don't know where I was up to then, so hopefully in the edit I can make sense of it. But yeah, great to see it on the water. It's completely different. If you've never flown a drone from a boat or a moving object, then definitely try it, but be very aware of the potential risks. And if you're over water, be very aware of the potential risks of your drone getting wet. But overall, yeah, it's a good experience. I think next time, this is a key point as well, communicate with the people operating the vessel, whether it be a boat or a car or whatever, just so you can talk through. I mean, I chatted in advance about how we're going to do this, where we're going to do, what we're trying to do. But yeah, communication between the driver and the operator of the drone leads to good results. But yeah, next time I go back up there in a few weeks' time, I'll definitely try and get out there again. If the nesting birds have all finished nesting, I'll try and get flying around those islands, and we'll have another go at landing on a boat, but it'll definitely have to be less windy. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Any questions, as always, just let me know in the comments and I'll get straight back to you. And there's another video coming soon for these. Where are they? Where have I put them? In the case already. Another video coming soon. Skyry ND filters, a set of 5 of them there, and a polarizer. So as soon as I get 5 minutes, I'll look into creating that video. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Cheerio.